These are the prizes for today for both tracks. They are exactly the same, except that we don't have a People's Choice Award for the youth. So first place is $4,000, second place is $2,000, third place is $1,000. And if there is a fourth place for the youth, it's $500. And instead of having a fourth place for the adults, there is a People's Choice Award. These are the judges for the adult track. Sandra Rentis is a business development advisor with the Nevada Small Business Development Center. Additionally, Sandra is responsible for converting and delivering many of the Nevada SBDC training programs in Spanish. Kathy Halbardier is a rural business advisor with the Nevada Small Business Development Center. Kathy has advised hundreds of businesses during her tenure with the Nevada SBDC. Also, Kathy is an entrepreneur, having founded a food and beverage manufacturing, sales, marketing, and distribution business. And lastly, we have Alan Hardison. He is with Nevada Gold Mines. He is a supply chain operations person and deals with many businesses, including small businesses, who are suppliers to their operations. Alan is also an entrepreneur and brings that perspective to judging Launch for All Nevada business pitches. Okay. This is the order for the pitches. So first we're going to hear from Brandolyn Thron. Are you ready? Come on up. And you have your phone ready to go?
I do.
Okay. So first up, you can see there, these will both reflect the same.
And this is for?
Yes, the right side. Okay. Okay. May I present Brandolyn Thron with MicroLife Outdoor Experiences.
Thank you, Maggie, for the support and encouragement, and thank you for Launch Rural Nevada for this opportunity. I'd like to introduce you to MO, MicroLife Outdoor Experiences, which is an outdoor education program that introduces the world to microbiology, the small things that are in you and all around you. It's no surprise that most of us spend a lot of time indoors and on our screen, and this can negatively impact our mental health, our physical health, and our spiritual health. So one solution is to increase your time spent outdoors. And Mo specifically looks at increasing that time outdoors while you're exploring that small micro world, such as bacteria, lichens, protozoa, all these things that are very important in the ecological health as well as in internal health. So the cool thing about Mo is that it sits at the intersection between science, spirituality, and nature. So the science part is taking people out hiking, collecting samples, and using hand lenses and microscopes to investigate and learn about the microbiology that's in their world. When you start to talk about the small things and the great impact that they have, it allows you to talk about the spiritual aspect and how important each human being is and how we are all connected and how everything we do matters. And it's very important that we understand our potential and our connection. And then while you're doing this, you're out in nature. And so you're experiencing these beautiful views and fresh air. And it gives you the opportunity to expand your perspective to a world larger than you. And with Mo, you're also looking at the tiny world and how important it is. So this would be a part-time side gig for me. I'm a high school science teacher, and I will independently contract with Nevada Outdoor School and Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries for the first phase, for the first 3 years. I plan to offer 1 hour, 1 day, and 5-day, 4-night backpacking experiences to have the participants be able to participate in this learning. This table on the slide shows an example of what that fee structure and potential revenue for Mo would look like. And then after I establish the customer base with Nevada Outdoor School and Solid Rock Ministries, the goal would be to be an independent business to customer business, utilizing those customers from phase 1 for return customers, because we can do MicroLife all over the world and expand into also serving schools and then using that as a marketing tool for those families. The market opportunity, according to the Nevada Division of Outdoor Recreation, is $4.9 billion, and that encompasses the 5 top outdoor recreational activities, of which hiking is one. And I believe that by year 5, I would be able to obtain $28,000 of that market as a part-time opportunity. The competition is real to get outside, right? It's hard to get off our couches and off of Netflix, but I do believe that offering an opportunity that is educational, unique, and fun will get people outdoors with me. One research shows us that one of the biggest reasons we don't go outside is because we don't want to go alone. And so MicroLife will solve that problem. And then I have some fantastic field food. And so I will be treating my guests very well with healthy foods and snacks as we are out hiking and exploring the microbiology. The phase 1 team is myself right now, and then, like I said, teaming with Nevada Outdoor School and Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries. Nevada Outdoor School just recently celebrated its 20th anniversary and reaches 3,000 people each year in northeastern Nevada. Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries is located in Wyoming, and it just celebrated its 40th anniversary, and it serves over 100 people a year with deep wilderness backcountry experiences. I have guided with both of these companies, and I have a good working relationship. So this will be my first team participant collaboration. What are my qualifications? I'm a high school science teacher. I have advanced degrees in molecular biology and environmental science. I'm a lay pastor, a wilderness first responder, and the coolest thing I bring to this is Hank the Hope Bus. Hank the Hope Bus is a mobile classroom that my son and I started renovating in 2020. As you can see from that picture, it already has some shelves and a bench. It's also my adventure rig that I take out, but we need to install a countertop and electrical so that we can have 3 high quality microscopes so that people can collect their samples in real time, look at the microbiology of their world. So to get me up and running, I'm asking for $7,600. Thank you, Launch Nevada, for this opportunity to share my passion and desire to bring the micro world to the rest of the world. I look forward for feedback, so please contact me, and thank you. Okay, there's gonna be some questions. Okay, Kathy, do you have any questions for Brandolin?
I'm trying to unmute. So Brandolin, on the bus, do you transport them to the location or do they meet you at the location? Because the bus looked like it was more of a lab.
Yes, the bus is more of a classroom, and the transportation, they'll meet me at the trailhead or wherever we are doing the opportunity, the experience. Yes, so it's not for transportation, it's intended as a classroom.
And are you looking at it being then regionally, so you'd have certain target locations that you would be taking these excursions from, and then everybody would meet you there, and so it would be more of a regional thing?
My vision is to start small, yes, regional, but my bus, I obtained it with 267,000 miles. And my goal is for my bus to reach a million miles with me driving it. So I envision taking it across the country and hopefully the world. I envision that bus going on somewhere into Europe. I don't know why Europe, but on a ferry somewhere. So start small, but yes, my vision is large because there's microbiology everywhere and people need to know it.
Thank you.
I celebrate your
Sandra, do you have
passion.
Sandra, do you have some questions?
Sure. Thank you for the presentation. It was great. So I'm glad that you're a high school teacher. Do you have different target marketing, mostly for youth, high school students, families? So tell me a little bit more how you're gonna, if you have different packages to promote these services?
Yes, my thinking and my idea is that I will start with families because as a teacher, I really believe in what I like to call changing the dinner conversation.
Okay.
And so my first target will be reaching out to families on small scales, 1 hour to 1 day experiences. And then from that grow into that 5-day backpacking experience.
Okay, thank you.
Alan, are you with us? Do you have a question?
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're great.
Brandolin, nice job. Hey, Brandolin, how do you use social media? What's your social media strategy? Obviously, this is the world we live in today. So
Great question. Right now, I am on a steep learning curve with social media personally, but Nevada Outdoor School and Solid Rock Outdoor Ministries both have very strong marketing strategies. And I have a website. I'm learning how to do websites. I am embracing being public and being on social media personally. But I think that's one reason I really want to collaborate with Nevada Outdoor School and Solid Rock Outdoors, because I can use that platform for a variety of reasons and then move into it and find that confidence and learning and all that stuff for me as a person.
Another question?
I'll
Alex?
make a comment, Brandon. I lived, I'm married, but lived singly in Elko for 4 years. And I did find a lack of social connections to get people out of the house. I mountain biked, I think, every hill in the Elko area. And I just didn't find any social groups to pull me into activities. So I think you have a real opportunity there to get people out of the house.
All right, Sandra or Kathy, one more question?
Just, I really do celebrate your passion, Brandolyn. Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree with the comments, and definitely to, connect the families in an outdoor environment, I think is very healthy, especially in these times that we live in today. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be moving on to Bobby. Bobby's online.
My name is Bobby Christie. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Hustle Partners. We've created the first labor life cycle platform. What that is the combination of everything that a business back end, as well as an employee looking for work, needs to grow their career or service their business needs. I've currently assembled an amazing team here in Northern Nevada, passionate about people's growth and expanding the labor market throughout rural Nevada. We've assembled a team of doctors, programmers, marketers, and people with a passion for growing others. Our belief is that we can solve Nevada's labor problem. The problem that we see is, first of all, people need cultural adaptation and adoption in the workplace in order to feel fulfilled. Given Nevada's current labor struggles in finding enough people and getting people placed at the appropriate jobs for their needs, we need to make sure that there's a cultural fit. Businesses face a problem of finding and retaining workers at an affordable price. The average cost to source a new team member is between $4,000 and $20,000, not including salary, relocation, or wages. What we've created is a one single point access system to provide RPO and temporary staffing services to rural Nevada. We do this by creating an augmented onboarding program and working with businesses to digitize their training models and port them directly to their employees, and then partnering with NPOs and government agencies to support efficient and transparent use of public resources while we work with Nevada's difficult labor market. Our current market size, we base our TAM on the total available market in the United States of $212 billion. Our serviceable market is the $1.4 billion in Northern Nevada businesses, employing 400,000 individuals outside of the major metropolitan areas. And we believe that in the next 5 years, we can capture $14 million worth of that revenue by providing services digitally to areas that are not traditionally served by employment agencies or workforce development companies. I apologize, I had a computer error. Traction so far. Since our startup in May of this year, we've attracted 849 users, which has converted to 90 people who are actively looking for work on a day-to-day basis. We think these numbers will continue to grow as we have more time and more traction. Our four main revenue streams focus on role fulfillment, business back office support, sponsored learning and workforce development. And our goal is to reach anyone 16 years or older who is looking for work, and businesses that are looking to find culturally matched employees at a price point that's attractive regardless of their size. Our current market competition, there are 3 brick and mortar staffing agencies serving rural Nevada, none of which can effectively service both clients and job seekers outside of their immediate geographic area. Because we are a digital storefront with no geographic limitations, we can instantaneously scale to support Nevada's 10 rural counties that are not serviced by any other form of employment agency outside of state or government services. And we can also provide business back-end support tailored to each business. As far as financials go, like all small businesses, it's been a slow growth phase for us. We're currently generating about $5,000 monthly in revenue. And by the end of the year, we expect that to reach approximately $12,000 monthly. Our workforce development revenue and creating training for businesses is currently generating $1,000 monthly and expected to grow as micro-credentialing and new clients come online. Our current payroll and obligations are $3,800 monthly. However, those are fixed, and that $3,800 can sustain our growth through our entire first year. What we're asking for is up to $200,000 in non-dilutive or equity-backed funding. This will give us the opportunity to continue hardening our digital security systems through the use of third-party vendors, to give us the opportunity to develop our iOS and Android app, and to drive marketing in rural, tribal, and non-metro areas, as well as the operating capital that all small businesses need. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for considering Hustle Partners, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Bobby. Let's go to Alan first. Do you have any questions for Bobby?
Bobby, how do you solicit people to your venture, to your website, how do you bring people into your business?
That's a great question. Our marketing strategy consists of social media, in-person events, and appropriately targeted advertising, depending on who we are reaching out to and the personas that our marketing team has decided are the best fit for both our employers as well as our employees who we call partners.
Okay, Sandra, have you a question?
Yes. Can you expand more on your workforce development trainings?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Basically, we have the ability to create customized digital training for nearly any occupation or small business. That training, once it's created, can be directly ported to their employees, either temporary or full-time, to give them the opportunity to learn on the job in an easy, convenient manner in the way that they best learn, be that through infographics, generated video, or hard copy text.
And you already have some already implemented or not?
That is correct. We've began our first 2 training modules with one of our amazing low voltage technical electrician installers. We've had the opportunity to create his entire training process from the moment someone walks in his door until he considers them fully trained at 6 to 8 weeks.
And the average time of each training, it is an hour or?
That's a great question as well. That's dependent upon the needs of the client and the information. Trainings can range in time needed from 30 seconds to 5 minutes to multi-course, multi-week training programs.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Kathy, do you have some questions?
I'd like to say I applaud what you're going after, because you're solving a whole need that is very prevalent throughout rural Nevada. What is your fee structure? How are you generating income for the company? Are the employers and the workforce side of it both paying to have access to the services? If you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Great question.
A very great question. Thank you, Kathy. Our belief first and foremost is that we will never charge someone who is looking for work looking to expand their horizons, or looking to learn new information. Our fee structure is supported entirely by businesses at this point, and as we continue to grow through grants and support from NGOs as well as nonprofit organizations. Our fee structure, as compared to a traditional staffing agency, which would charge a hourly rate plus a markup over a period of time of 500 to 700 hours, where we approach with the transparent cost plus model, the cost of us to provide the employee plus a fair and transparent 5 to 8% markup generally saves our clients between 40 to 60% off of a traditional staffing agency, or when recruiting, as opposed to $4,000 to $20,000, we can find someone usually for between $1,000 to $6,000. As far as the workforce development side goes, all of the costs for those training programs are footed either by the companies directly creating those programs for their employees, or through sponsored advertising, which we believe will be a great revenue stream in the future, giving businesses such as real estate agents or insurance agents or others in the community the ability to sponsor training, which is going to provide benefit to the community at large.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan, back to you. I'm sure you have more questions too.
Well, I do. It's and Christine is on the phone on here with us, and she's but the sourcing of people and the low unemployment situation that we're in today is a challenge, and matching employers with potential employees is just a real science and art over the last couple of years, and I'm just more intrigued over how you're pulling people to be interested in matching the two entities, Bobby. So
thank you so much for that question, Alan. The first is our belief that we don't have to be the smartest people in the room. There are already so many great institutions in play that are helping people better themselves, find work, and find careers. Our primary partnerships, the newest that's beginning for us, is that we're beginning to place students from some of the medium-sized educational institutes here in the state right as they graduate, as well as any offboarding from those institutions. The other thing that we've noticed is that there's a trend among Nevada employers to want employees to work beyond a full-time schedule, when in reality, by simply working with work scheduling, we can find people who may already have a main job, but are looking for a side hustle and are willing to take 8 to 20 hours a week in addition to their full-time job, or perhaps even an artist who wants to focus on their art for a few days a week and then supplement that income as they find convenience. Our belief is that by finding that cultural fit, finding where a person fits best, once we have that person placed, they have a tendency to stay there longer. And should they need to move on, they're more likely to return to us to help them find their next long-term.
yeah, and are you using job fairs, Bobby?
We are actually, as we're speaking, I'm currently at the Small Business Resource Fair in Ely, Nevada this morning. I've had the opportunity to attend several job fairs, both with our educational partners as well as with some of the state agents.
Well, good for you. We do need more people in the workforce, that's for sure, and how to interest them and get them engaged is a real opportunity. So continued good luck.
Thank you so much, Alan. I appreciate it.
I do have one
All
more
right, ladies.
question. Yeah,
Go ahead.
sorry. Regarding the workforce trainings, do you have them in Spanish? Because I know there's some technical, like mechanics, that you don't need to learn English. So, and I know there are many Spanish speakers in the rural Nevada. So, or I don't know, that's something that you will consider in the future.
That is a great question. Thank you for asking. At this point, our platform is completely bilingual, English and Spanish. And
Oh,
we have
fantastic.
the capability of expanding to up to 120 other languages
Okay.
as need arises.
Okay, great. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the time, and thank you for allowing me to share our vision.
Thank you, Bobby.
Luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have Deseret Blake with Perennial Bloom. She's gonna be coming up here. She's in person.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Desiree Blake. I am from West Wendover, Nevada, and I am so excited to tell you about my business, Perennial Bloom. But first, I have a couple questions for you. The first is, why does this mediocre set of Victoria's Secret lingerie cost nearly $80? My second question is, why is your $2,000 wedding dress sitting in the back of your closet collecting dust and turning yellow? $2,000 is the average cost of a wedding dress in the United States today. So the problem is, nobody wants to get rid of their wedding dress because they have happy memories attached to it, but they don't know what to do with it after their wedding. So we already know that women are paying top dollar for Victoria's Secret lingerie. So my solution is to repurpose wedding dresses into heirloom items, such as lingerie and infant gowns. So here's an example of a bride I worked with recently. I took her gorgeous wedding dress and I turned it into a set of custom lingerie, as well as a baby blessing dress for her little girl. The market for this business is huge. Lots of people get married. I'm specifically focusing on married women ages 20 to 50 that are eco-conscious and in the upper to middle class. The bridal market in the United States is gigantic and it's growing. In the last 6 years, the bridal market has grown by nearly $10 billion. And a normally large percentage of that market is actually right here in our backyard. Over 12% of the nation's bridal market is in Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. I believe that in 3 years, by working part-time and perhaps having a part-time assistant, I can access up to 120,000 of that market. Here's just a timeline breakdown. Right now, I'm a high school sewing teacher. So working part-time during the school year, full-time during the summer. I'll be making more than I make as a teacher. And then in 3 years, working full-time, and then hopefully in 5 years, hiring another seamstress to also work full-time. So the genius behind this business model is that the luxury fabrics needed to make these high-end products is provided by the customer. All I'm charging for is labor, thread, and elastic. The main products that I sell are christening dresses, bralette set, and a baby doll set. But I'm seeking to, I'm all about being very custom. On the left side of the screen are some products that brides have been asking for more recently, dresses for girls that are a little bit older, and also bridal robes. Think the mom makes a robe out of her wedding dress that her daughter can wear on her wedding day while she gets ready. Also, not every bride wants to cut up their wedding dress, and I have options for them as well. The lingerie set in the middle is actually made out of a wedding veil. And actually have that here today. And then almost everyone gets their wedding dress altered. On the far right, there's a set of lingerie next to the dress. After getting altered, you cut fabric off to hem it. You don't need a lot of fabric to make lingerie, and everybody wins. So the way that this works is that a bride will consult with a seamstress, design the lingerie of their dreams. They ship it to me, it's all virtual. I sew it into whatever item they've requested and I ship it back to them and they can use it for the rest of their life. So far, I've marketed through Instagram mainly. I've had 5 sales from Instagram, making over $1,000 in value. And everyone that I worked with has been very happy and very excited about the items that they've received. There are many opportunities for growth that I'm excited for and actively pursuing. Last Saturday, I spent the day in Salt Lake City at a bridal fair where I talked to thousands of prospective brides, where I got over 100 new followers and girls that are interested in repurposing their dress after their wedding. I'm on Instagram, but I hope to expand to Twitter and Pinterest, or TikTok and Pinterest, and also work with influencers and bridal shops. Another cool thing about this business is that there is virtually no competition. There's a small business located on the East Coast that does something similar, but they don't make lingerie with the dresses. If you Google repurpose my wedding dress, quite literally nothing comes up. Right now, it's a one-woman team. I have lots of education and in sewing and design, and I have lots of experience in the bridal industry. I also have a lot of connections and friends, and actually some close friends that are interested in working for me once I have the business to support them. But I also have a lot of passion. I have been sewing ever since I was 5 years old, and this is my dream job. I also am really passionate about the repurpose aspect of this business. I love so much of fashion today is fast fashion, and there's a lot of waste involved. And I love the concept of taking something beautiful and turning it into something else that's beautiful but usable. In order to get this business off the ground and to get it where I'd like it to be, I need just over $6,000. It's broken up into startup costs. I want to purchase a serger sewing machine to professionalize my products and also to allow me to finish them more quickly, as well as first-year operating expenses, updating my website, and social media marketing as well. I am so passionate about this idea. I know it's a good idea. I can't wait to see where it takes me and all of the brides that I'm able to help and prolong and their memories. And I'm so thankful for your time today and listening to my pitch. Thank you.
Very nice job. All right, Sandra, you look like you can't wait to say something. So what's your first question?
Well, congratulations. I think it's a great idea. I have a question for you. So you said you attended the Utah Bridals trade show, correct? So, and
Yes.
you mentioned that there is a connection between the bride and the dress. So what was their reaction? What did they say about it? Because once they get their wedding dress, they don't want to probably get rid of the wedding dress, but then maybe later. So what was their reaction talking to the bride-to-be? So.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, obviously there was an array of questions, but my most common question, I would stop brides and I would ask them, what are you gonna do with your dress after their wedding?
Okay.
And the most common response was, I don't know, I wanna do something, but I don't know. I just don't want it to sit in my closet. And overwhelmingly the response when I told them about my business plan was so much excitement. They're like, I love that idea. I'm so interested. Obviously there were a few girls that were like, oh, I don't know if I wanna cut up my dress. But like I said in the presentation, there's options for them if they custom veils with trim, and pearls are really in right now. So a lot of brides were interested in that option, or they're getting their dress hemmed and they're going to have scraps. So, but at the bridal market, yes, there was a very overwhelmingly positive response from the brides.
So what is your elevator pitch? When you go to talk to this woman, and I don't want to put you in the spot, but do you have an elevator pitch talking to them?
Yes. So I would always start with, I knew they were getting married, so there was some common ground we could start on, but I asked them, do you have your dress yet? What are you doing with your dress after you get married? And so many people spend so much money on their dress. They have all these memories associated with them, and then they sit in your closet and turn yellow. And what we do at Perennial Bloom is to repurpose those dresses into items that are still very special, but that are usable.
Fantastic. And two more questions, sorry. So there is a one comment. There is a New York bridal show, and then Tahoe also, you should attend New York also to meet all these brides. And I know Tahoe has another show as well. And regarding packaging, so do you have a special recycled packaging, sending the dresses back, or what kind of packaging do you use to send to storage the dress if you send it back to the repurpose?
The biggest element of my packaging that's super important to me is to use acid-free paper.
Okay.
I like to package it in tissue paper that's acid-free, just so it doesn't turn the dress yellow. I also like to, wedding dresses are big and there's a lot of fabric. I also like to make custom, if it's just a ribbon to tie around it or something to wrap it in with the scraps of their dress.
Okay.
So even that is, I put it in like an envelope to sell, but the packaging is reusing their dress as well.
Thank you. Very, really, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kathy, questions?
I think it's a fabulous idea and a very good concept. My mom carried around her wedding dress, and there was only one of the three of us that could actually wear it. So I like the thought that you actually get continued use out of it. And I think you've got some good products there. How do you combat somebody that thinks they're going to pass the dress down to their daughter?
Thank you for asking that question. If it's an appropriate situation, I feel comfortable enough with them. I explain to them that their dress is going to go out of style and their daughter's not going to want to wear it. Because that's the response 90% of the time. And it really is true. I also explain to them that there are options to repurpose your dress in a way without completely dismantling it. You know, cutting a few inches off the hem, or taking, if there's a lot of beading or applique, just taking elements of the dress to put on something new without completely dismantling the dress if it's really important to them to keep the dress intact.
Yeah, the big thing is, will their daughter fit into it, or will they have a daughter? But I like the idea.
Their daughter's not gonna want it.
But I like the idea that you're looking at taking different parts of it. But I too, like Sandra, there's Weddings of the West and everything. I have a niece that takes and really believes in not adding to the landfill and repurposes a lot of things just in the clothing market as well. And when you look at a lot of the waste in the clothing market, so you are onto something just really incredibly unique. And so I champion you, and I wish you very well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right, Alan, it's your turn.
Oh, here I go. Yeah, this is my forte. No, great job, Kathy. Hey, there are so many websites that are so mature in this area, and your total addressable spend seemed low to me. I can't believe how much people spend on wedding these days. What's your social media strategy again to use these websites that are already very mature to pull people into this concept?
Yeah, social media is I love social media. I took a lot of social media marketing classes in college. It wasn't my major, but it was just something that interested me a lot. I also am a high school teacher, and so I have daily access to very relevant Gen Z students that spend a lot of time on social media, and they have lots of opinions they like to share with me. But I'm starting with Instagram. I really think that the interesting thing about this business is the process. Every dress is unique, and so every piece that I make is unique. And so I like to do a lot of reels and TikToks showing, you know, this is the dress, these are the elements I'm using. And I've found that users on Instagram are very drawn to that, and they're really interested in that because, like you said before, there's so much fast fashion and there's so much waste, and so they're drawn to that element of making something live longer.
Let me be more specific. So like The Knot, or I think Zola is a huge, I mean, these are just massive websites that people use to plan their weddings these days. Are you trying to penetrate that area, and how do you carve into that?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry I misunderstood your question. I have not yet looked into the digital world as much, but I have started to contact bridal wedding dress shops and saying, oh, you know, if you buy your dress from here, then you can get a like a discount on your repurpose. But I hope to in the future definitely contact wedding planners and all of those wedding planning websites for sure.
Okay.
You should consider going on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Because isn't Dennis O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, one of the major investors of The
yes.
Knot? Yeah, wouldn't it be great if she got her start here in rural Nevada and ended up on Shark Tank?
Let's go.
I can see it. All right, ladies, any other questions from you?
I think you have a lot of potential for partnerships too, you know, so, you know, people who does hair, you know, they want to hire the whole staff, and, you know, talking to them and explaining your idea, it will be fantastic. They have an option to tell to the bride. So there's tons of opportunities, repurpose, recycling, packaging. So yes.
And one question I have is on, you seem low on the cost of a serger. Some of that equipment has gotten so costly. What does a serger go for these days?
There's a very big variety. My dream serger actually cost $7,000. When
I
I'm
thought
starting, you can get a serger at Walmart for $200. So I budgeted around $500 to $700. I think you can get a really high quality serger for that. I used to work at a wedding or a sewing machine and serger shop in college. So I'm pretty in tune and have some connections there with the prices. So yeah. Definitely, the sky's the limit of the prices of those things, but I think I could get something to do the job for under $1,000 for sure.
Well, I look forward to seeing you on Pinterest, and then Sandra and I will be happy to counsel you to get you on Shark Tank.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sounds great.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, and thank you, Deseret.
Thank you.
Yes, you can take those with you, but she'll
They're
have them with
beautiful,
her
by
if
the
you
way.
guys want to
Thank
touch
you
and
so
feel them.
much.
Okay, this time I would like to ask the judges to, and hopefully my assistant online can open up the breakout room for the judges to go in there to deliberate the adult pitches.